Welcome to One Brooklyn, presented by Brooklyn Borough President Eric Adams. On this edition of One Brooklyn, Brooklyn Borough President Adams has been a long-time supporter of participatory budgeting, a chance for the public to directly decide how to spend community dollars. And Borough President Adams has taken it one step further to Brooklyn schools.
We were the only office outside the city council that allocated money to participatory budgeting. We did $1 million in the last 4 years. Now we want to evolve to the next level of how do we have students participate in the process. So we're allocating $500,000 in 2 schools, one here in this building which houses Gotham and Acorn, and we're doing the same at John Jay School over in Park Slope. The goal is to look at schools with several campuses because we want to foster a better communication, a better interaction, and have teams come together and decide what projects they want in their school.
Borough President Adams recently visited with the Acorn and Gotham schools, where the students themselves will decide where to spend $500,000 improvement dollars at the school they share. For the school and the students taking part in participatory budgeting, it not only gives the schools a chance to get some much-needed improvements, but also provides a valuable lesson for the students and inclusion in the process.
So it has been a tremendous opportunity to allow for our students to recognize that the voting process really does mean something for their community.
We want to tell our kids that if they don't control their narrative, then someone else will control it for them. And that's a really powerful idea. Also, too, the idea of civic engagement is so real. And so we think about how everybody understands the federal level of government, but nobody understands that really the things that move, the things around us directly are at the local level. And so what we want to do is model this microcosm of society as a school. And so when students leave this space as voting-ready adults, they can actually engage in their civic duties naturally, comfortably, confidently, knowing that they understand the process, they understand what's involved.
The students at the Acorn and Gotham schools recently sat down with the Borough President, along with the principals, to discuss what participatory budgeting means to the students.
It was about how do we get the whole school and be a part of the process. You know, when you see the term, when you saw the term vote, V-O-T-E, we were talking about this earlier, did you identify, when people say you're going to vote, did you identify as something that was empowering to you, or was it for someone else to be doing? What were your thoughts around that?
I was thinking about choice, the idea of choice, because there are so many things that are ultimately out of your control, but when I thought of vote and then when I heard of participatory budgeting when I was on student council, I was just like, this is great because we get to take the choice out of other people's hands who don't know how this will have a direct impact on our life, on how things will go after high school. And you get to put that power of choice into the hands of the students who ultimately get to choose oh, okay, money is going here. We get to do this. This is what we want, not what other people are choosing for us.
And I feel like the participatory budgeting project is really an example of how students can make a difference and the effort and work ethic.
Well, when we first started, I thought it was going to be hard since I didn't really know anything about it. But now, coming into it and actually finishing it, I thought it was quite easy. And also working with my parents and finding out that we would also have the students vote instead of the teachers. I thought that would be a good idea since the students could feel like they have a voice instead of having the teachers pick for them.
Mm-hmm. In my experience, I have been open to a lot of projects, so this is not my first time hearing about participatory budgeting. So I did one last year for a gym, and we didn't get it because it was a lot of money to get a gym. And I also was introduced to grant writing because I joined organizations like BSAC and CSAC.
Borough President Adams toured the school with the students and the principals of Acorn and Gotham, and he got a look at some of the challenges these schools face, as do so many New York City schools.
The space has 2 large columns that sit completely in the middle of the space. So we're talking about safety, and we're talking about, students having that free space to participate in these different activities that our gym teachers have been so thoughtful about in terms of how to use this space. I think that it's really important in terms of even identifying a space outside of here.
The conversation between the students and the Borough President also touched on other topics important to the students, one of which was nutrition, an important topic to Borough President Adams.
I would like for students to have healthier options when it comes to eating at school, because personally, like back then I didn't really have stuff to eat in the mornings when I went to my other schools, and then it'd be like going on an empty stomach for throughout the day. I couldn't have been my best. I'd end up sleeping or something like that. And I don't know what a lot of students might be going through at home here, but it'd be great if they could come to school and have like healthy options like to eat. So that'd be wonderful.
I am truly impressed with the energy around students on wanting healthier food. And it is sweeping the country, and Brooklyn is leading the way. You know, as you know, we rolled out the first meatless Mondays, and we're doing so many things around health. We put a lot of money into rooftop gardens using hydroponics. A lot of my money has gone into that. I believe every school should have a greenhouse on top. We should grow our veggies, bring them down to the cafeteria, serve them there, learn how to make exotic dishes based on our cultural norms. That is the way we should be doing this. So I am dead on with you, and we're going to continue to push the healthy food agenda and option. It is unbelievable, this thing called food. We're not even eating food in school. We're eating food-like substances. And it's about having healthy food in our schools. Number one, it's to teach the right habits. And number two, we can't continue to feed the healthcare crisis.
And I think
So that rooftop hydroponics idea, that sounds ridiculous. Like, how much money is it though?
We have the capital project, and you should have your teacher, your principals, make sure that they put in for the capital project. We would love, I'm sure you have a nice rooftop space.
Students being part of the discussion and having their voices heard is part of the learning process and part of the development process and part of what makes better Brooklynites of the future.
The goal of education is to develop the full personhood of a child, not only one area. We don't want them to be academically smart, emotionally ignorant, and not healthy. We want to develop the full child, and we must refocus our attention to that.
That concludes this edition of One Brooklyn. I'm Joseph Frizzell. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time on One Brooklyn, presented by Brooklyn Borough President Eric Adams.